Jesus isn't the I am.
And let me correct something else. The Tetragrammaton is also a deception.
Really?
Okay, that wasn't the name that was given to Moses. The Tetragrammaton is a Zionist, Jewish, satanic, sorcerous deception to have everyone worship Satan.
Really?
Really?
Even though it's right there in the Hebrew text we were just looking at.
Exactly, because you have to realize the Masoretes, with their evil, took their hands and looked to describe their God in our records. And we're not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Oh, wait. No. You wait. I just can't let that pass. I can show you the Isaiah.
You don't have to let it pass, but you have to let me explain what I'm saying, and then you can just refute it.
You do that for long periods of time. The fact of the matter is the Masoretes flourished when? When did they do their work? Do you know?
Listen, you just, come on.
No, you don't. The point is you don't know. And the fact of the matter is the Isaiah scroll. Listen. No. Listen. I've been extremely patient.
Okay.
The Isaiah scroll. Listen. No, you listen to me for once. You keep saying listen to me and I'll explain. Okay?
Right.
Let me explain something to you. The Isaiah scroll from the Dead Sea Scrolls comes from 1,000 years before the Masoretic period, and it contains the Tetragrammaton. It can't have come from the Masoretes. That is a historically laughable assertion.
I didn't say it came from the Masoretes.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I said the Masoretes was behind the deception.
Okay, then it's in Isaiah, right?
When I say behind listen, it would be juvenile to say the Masoretes created the Tetragrammaton when the Masoretes didn't come around until about the 1st century, and then you had listen, and then you had the Israelites who fell to that God 500 years before Christ. Yahweh in the Tetragrammaton is the Canaanite God, and the Jewish powers, the Zionists, know this. A matter of fact, when you look at a book, okay, when I say that around the 6th to the 11th century, let me correct myself on the Masoretes. Between the 6th and the 11th century, the Masoretes came on the scene and began to take our records once we fell and began to inject this name all over the earth. But again, that name is the Canaanite God. Yah meaning power, and Hava, which means mischief, fallen one. That's Satan himself. And a matter of fact, there's a book out now. Okay, it's called The Illuminati 2, which it goes into the fact that the Tetragrammaton is the god Lucifer. Okay, and the Masoretes and the Masons know this. So that injection happened not only in Hebrew, and again.
So wait. So you're telling me that when Isaiah 44:2 says, "Thus says Yahweh," that this is a corruption of the scriptures?
Yes.
And your evidence for this is a book about the Illuminati?
No.
Okay, what's your historical evidence for it? Textually speaking.
Okay. In the scriptures.
Yeah.
Okay. The Most High himself give Moses his name. Ahayah, Ahayah, right there in Exodus 3. And he says, "This is my name forever throughout all generations." Okay. So there was only one way to translate that. So they couldn't change it there, but they began to change it throughout the whole book, except in that one place where the Most High mentioned his name. In Exodus 3 and 13 through 16.
All right. Do you have the Hebrew of Isaiah 44:2 in front of you?
Yeah, it's going to say the Tetragrammaton. I know that.
Okay, then do you have any manuscripts of the book of Isaiah that do not have the Tetragrammaton?
My whole King James Version Bible in the Old Testament is filled with the Tetragrammaton.
I know that. So my point is, if you're going to assert that there has been a textual change in the biblical text itself, you can't simply assert it, you have to prove it. So what is your manuscript evidence that there has been a change?
Okay, now, you're going to continue to ignore what I say and say I didn't prove anything.
Okay.
Are you?
You seem to confuse assertion with proof. We obviously deal with things differently along these lines. When I debate Muslims and I make a claim about the Quran, I have to be able to back it up with the Quran itself. I can't just simply make an assertion. And you make assertions and think that by making assertions, you've proven something. You say that because a form of a Hebrew verb is used in Exodus 3, which is directly related to the same root of Yahweh in the rest of the Tanakh, that there's been some change made. And I go, excuse me, but we have entire manuscripts, we have manuscript traditions within the Hebrew manuscripts, we have the Aramaic Targums, we have the Greek Septuagint, and when variations like this take place, we can trace them to the various traditions that we have available to us in the manuscript tradition. And I'm simply saying to you, if you're going to make an assertion, you got to back it up with something that is actually substantiatable from a scholarly perspective. That's all. Okay. So what's your manuscript evidence that when Isaiah wrote Isaiah 44:2, he did not say, Ko Amar Yahweh?
Let me show you something here. I think that you have Skype up, don't you?
I can see you.
Okay, great. I'm going to send you something. I'm going to pull it up on Skype. And you describe what you see. And this is from a satanic temple that I'm sending you, okay?
A satanic temple from when? Date on this, please.
This is a modern, matter of fact, this is early 1900.
Okay, and how is this relevant to Isaiah 2,700 years ago?
Okay, so we're just going to run around in circles here. This is what I'm asserting, okay? I'm asserting that the Old Testament was tainted by the Masoretes. Okay, the so-called Jewish scholars, to promote their name in the Hebrew records, that there's history that proves that Yahweh predates the time that the Israelites went into Egypt. Okay, Yahweh is a Canaanite God. It's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, now let me get and to prove that. Let me get this out of Jeremiah real quick, because the Bible said the scribes would do this. Let me read it. In Jeremiah 8:8, it tells you, how do you say we are wise and the law of the Lord is with us? Lo, certainly in vain made he it. The pen of the scribes is in vain. So we knew that the scribes would do things evil in our records. And guess what? It didn't stop the Most High from revealing his name, which is Ahayah, Ahayah, and his son Yeshaya, to be exalted throughout the four corners of the earth before the return of our Savior.
All right, so I earlier pointed out that the Masoretes flourished around the 9th century after Christ.
Yeah, between the 6th and 11th century, yes.
We have the Isaiah scroll from the Dead Sea Scrolls from 100 years before Christ. Long before the Masoretes were around.
Yeah.
And that scroll then could not have been altered by the Masoretes, right? Because it was buried in the desert.
That is absolutely correct.
And so it says Yahweh. It has the Tetragrammaton all the way through it. So what you just said about the Masoretes doing this couldn't have resulted in the corruption of the scriptures.
No, what I'm trying to explain to you is, okay, the Masoretes injected the information that they could control going forward.
Into what?
Listen to me clearly.
I'm trying to. I'm just asking. You said they injected. Into what? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
into our modern day publications. Let me make this clear, okay? Again, even Hebrews went off. Our people went off in the Old Testament and began to scribe to the fallen God. And that's why it tells us in Hosea, the 2nd chapter, in the 16th verse, and it shall be at that day, saith the Most High, that thou shalt call me Ishi, and shalt call me no more Baali. When you look at that word Baali, that derives, in your strong concordance, you can go there from the word Jehovah or the Tetragrammaton. So we began to scribe that name in records back then. The Masoretes just continued it.
Baali? Wait. Baali is from Baal, sir. That's from Baal.
Sir, you think I don't know Baal? Baali is from Baal?
You just said it was from the Tetragrammaton.
Sir, this is what you need to do, okay? Go, you have your strong concordance in
Sir, I don't use Strong's Concordance. I teach Hebrew.
Listen, sir, listen. Okay, well, I'm going to read this for those who can hear it, okay? Baali. Hebrew 1180 in the Strongs, okay? From 1167 with pronominal suffix, my master Baali, a symbolical name of Jehovah, Baali.
Symbolical name where? See, I'm sorry. Strong's Exhaustive Concordance is not an inspired source. It's very dated, and I'm sorry, but anyone who's dependent upon that is going to stumble many, many times.
Well,
it's just I just highly recommend to you actually learning the language. It would help a lot.
Well, you know what would help? It would help if you you would yield and actually give the floor back and give our scriptures back to because these.
I'm sorry, they're not your scriptures, sir. They were given to the Christian church as a whole.
James, listen. These scriptures were given through inspiration of our prophets. These are our forefathers, my forefathers.
That's your assertion.
So that's my assertion. And guess what? You have no authority to tell me what's in this book.
Well, let me just ask one last thing here, and I think we've pretty wrapped this up pretty well. I need to go back to where we started because I didn't get a clear answer. When Paul wrote to the church at Colossae, what language did he write in?
Excuse me?
When Paul wrote to the church at Colossae, what language did he write to them in?
Well, Paul understood different languages, and a lot of times he wrote to them in the Greek language. Yes.
So would you say the original language for Romans would be Greek, not Hebrew?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Because it sounded to me like you were saying something other initially. I just wanted to clarify that because that was one of the questions I still had.
Well, believe it or not, it was clear to everyone that was listening. It wasn't clear to you.
Because I wasn't listening.
Thank you.
Well, obviously that is your conclusion. I'm more than happy to allow the audience to listen to the two sides and to follow the dialogue and make their decisions. Don't you think that's a good thing to do?
Yes.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good. Excellent. All right. Well, I appreciate it. I think it's been very useful. It certainly has been enlightening for me. And I appreciate you taking the time to do it.
Well, all praises be to the Most High, Ahayah Bashem Yeshaya, and down will go up Babylon. Rise Israel. Shalom.
Thank you. I'll have to admit, watching the Twitter feed, some of you need to be punished for what you're doing to me in the Twitter feed. Some of you just were not helping. Okay? Now, Abu, you were. Thank you. I understand you. There's a fellow Abu Kamer on Twitter that obviously knows his stuff and knows these guys a whole lot better than I do. And I appreciate that.
So I have to add something here.
Yeah.
I don't think you knew this, but Remember I said that there was someone on Skype with him?
Yes.
Yeah. So when he first claimed that the Masoretes were first century,
Right.
and then less than 60 seconds later said, 600 to 900, or 600 to 1100,
That guy helped him out.
he has somebody typing. This person is typing information to him as that was ongoing.
Yeah. Well, remember, I'm slick.
Yes, you are. You're very, very slick. You didn't
And did
have
you notice
someone
he didn't even
typing.
know who he was talking to?
Well, yeah, there was that too.
So I obviously hadn't even Googled my name or anything because they.
Apparently somebody told him your name was Slick.